I woke up this morning and like the news feed, it was just all stuff about Luka Doncic, the Luka trade to LA, and then the impending collapse of the America-KKK empire, thanks to Comrade Trump, who is, fulfilling his promises to immediately start attacking the foundations of the global imperialist free trade regime and CIA cut out USAID. It's cracker control, America KKK kill America KKK, and I guess I'll just start there. I wish I knew something about tariffs or the economy, but what do we think about the Comrade Trump's program of hyper Argentinification for the American economy?
Well, I've been interested watching like the pro-Trump people talk about this. I mean, not Elon. They're posting like "You're the man now, dog," but there's a watermark on it that's like from at videos of moms dying. Like the Silicon Valley guys, I've been paying attention to because a lot of this it's gotten swept up by the Canada and Mexico tariffs. But his first thing he did that probably made all the Jamie Dimon type guys think, "Oh my God, we're gonna have to actually kill him this time," was imposing tariffs on chips from Taiwan. I've been interested in seeing all these guys rationalize that since then. That Sean McGuire guy, who he looks like a heavily airbrushed Dennis Leary. He's one of those VC guys who's always wearing a very cool leather jacket. He said, "Well, like these are probably just going to be temporary, but they're like a really good opportunity for us to bolster, build up our industry in the way that protectionist countries do, specifically with mining and manufacturing." And if I know anything about manufacturing, it's that you can, transition your manufacturing sector to being half your economy in like 3 weeks with no central planning. And while you are like just destroying the government's ability to pay for anything.
I mean, Trump, from what I read, Trump's logic behind it was just like about the Taiwan stuff was like, if we make it so expensive to build them in Taiwan and ship them here, then they'll just build them here, which is kind of peerless, right? I mean, it might work. My thing is like, I don't really get what tariffs are. I'm going to be completely, I think I do understand them. And then I'm like, surely I'm too stupid to understand this. Like there has to be some other like second or third order effect that I'm not getting to like fully get the picture here. But I do kind of like Canada. I got to tell you, I am fucking whatever we're going to do to them, we're going to do to them. And it's time. Like there have been tensions, I think, among the Canadian and American people that have been rising for many years. And if we're gonna take out half their economy, I don't know what their economy is, frankly. My view on the tariffs towards everybody is I'm just like, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? I already have all the podcast equipment I need, I think. And so I'm like, well, what, how's it going to affect me? I don't eat. It's mostly Soylent diet these days, and that's made in America. So I'm like, what are they going to do?
I mean, I guess the goal here is the annexation of Canada, and Canada as the 51st state. But my question about that is, wouldn't that just be importing 20 to 30 million new Democrat rat party voters? I mean, like Canadians are not. They're not patriotic.
I mean, they always Canadians always say like, "Oh, our politics are like getting infected by America," and like we basically have MAGA guys there. But when I look at Canadian politics, like the most based guy in Canada will be making a speech where he's like, and you know what? I think that I shouldn't have to celebrate Ramadan, but I will. That's like that's like the not even the Geert Wilders of Canada. That's like the Oswald Mosley. It's a guy who's like, I think that we should sing our anthem at hockey games.
I mean, my thing is like, what do we do about the Quebecois once we take Canada? Because like, I got to be honest, they have been infinitely more tolerant of whatever is going on with that than I think any government would ever in any other period in history would do. Because it's like, okay, you are mostly Catholic and want to speak French. And now every single sign in Canada has to be like half French. I don't know, every single sign. I mean, it seems like it. I mean, just like, and they treat them, the guy, one of like the main proponents of Quebecois nationalism, like what's his fucking book? He has some book with a rude racial slur in the title.
Where the classic political move of calling yourself the N-word in a
So
political
sick.
argument.
Yeah,
I love that move.
The white N-words of America. The precocious autobiography of a Quebec terrorist, and it's like, I just am like, I'm fascinated to see what that kind of culture clash is, because we already have those guys. We have Cajuns, like we have our own like weird Florida stuff, or not Florida stuff, excuse me, Louisiana stuff, and they're fine there. They're not like everybody else has got to do like a little bit of what we do. The Quebecois have had it too good for too long. I'm not even saying that. They can keep having it good. But I'm like, if we take over Canada, we have to deal with that now. And I don't think that America can handle that.
I mean, I used to kind of think that until we went to Montreal. And now, like, it's the most beautiful city in North America.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's like clearly, I don't think it's working for the rest of Canada, because Toronto is like if the Sears department chain was a city.
It's a grade A dump.
Really awful. The moment I got into Toronto, they gave me one of those like sort of glossy, cheaply printed coupon books. They were where I opened it up and it was like, buy a house for $35 American. And I threw it on the ground. But in Montreal, gorgeous. I feel like whatever the fuck they're doing, I really don't get it, because they're not speaking actual French. It's some weird mutant form of it. Georges St-Pierre, maybe the greatest MMA fighter of all time, the last MMA fighter who isn't openly praising Hitler and a rapist. Montreal is beautiful. I think it works. I'm all for it.
I gotta say, I'm harsh on them for their separatism, but I gotta tell you, I've been to a lot of Canada, and Montreal is that is a first class city. I can't really say my view on the rest of Canada is if we integrated it into America, it would be, if we just kept it one state, it would kind of be one of our shittier states. If we split it up, we'd have like 4 of our shittier states, and then like BC and Quebec would be like all right states.
I think Montreal should be maintained as sort of like Hong Kong, like a special economic zone where you can speak French and be in a nice city. And then everything else of it, just, I don't know, tar sands, cold. But so yeah, Canada and Mexico, like 2 of our biggest trading partners, like trade war. I mean, like I said, I wish I knew more about economics. We'll see how this... I mean, the thing I've noticed is that, like, during the campaign, the argument was Americans will only reap the benefits of these tariffs, and prices will not, like, the tariffs will not be passed on to the consumers. We'll actually be paying less for things at the grocery store or elsewhere. And I have noticed that in the first week or so, the argument has subtly shifted to, yes, Americans will suffer, but it'll be good for us. It's going to build character.
I mean, it's a hard thing to argue against, because I guess if I was taking power, I'd probably be forced to say a very similar thing. But yeah, it has been so funny to see them like really change tack very quickly. And I think it's because kind of nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen until it happens.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of Trump stuff, there's like oftentimes, I think in the first term especially, you'd hear like a lot of like catastrophizing, and then like kind of nothing would really happen. And I am generally like a nothing's gonna happen kind of guy. In this case, I'm like, something might happen.